Okay, hey, YouTube Live. This is my first YouTube Live. Not ever. You know what else I'm forgetting? I'm forgetting my hat. You know what else what's going on? I'm exposing myself. Just gonna have to hold on just one second. There's this light behind here that bothers me. And you know what else I realized is I didn't have these on. Hey, it's my first live. And this is just crooked. It's that whole symmetrical thing. Okay, I think we're good. It's interesting thinking about like news broadcasts and things and how freaking on point you have to be and all that goes into like quality video production. It's pretty amazing. Anyways, silence than that. Hope everyone's well. It's June 24th, Monday. I do this a few times a week. My videos, I'm just working on posting them. And a lot of people, I think, want the audience right away. A lot of people talk about how they want to do public speaking or training or whatever, but they haven't built anything. They haven't taken the time to actually build something. They just want the stage. They haven't taken the time. This ties into what I'm saying, by the way, or what I'm talking about today. I titled this The Seat of Honor, the Cup of Pain. And it's based on a reference from the Bible that we'll get to in a minute. And is this a screen share? I've got to see it. Oh my gosh, you can share the screen. I didn't know that there's a screen share button down here. It's awesome. Okay, I didn't know you could do that. I thought I had to have a different streaming service and whatever. So here, cool. That's great. But a lot of people want the audience, but they don't want to build the audience. A lot of people want the benefits of the relationship without taking the time to develop the relationship. A lot of people want the benefits of intimacy in romance, but they don't want the responsibility of what that romance produces. A la all of the fatherless children out there right now, all of the single parent households out there right now. It's a lot of people that believe that the answer to the problems that society has, they think that it's education, or we just need more money, or if we tax the rich, that'll solve everything. And that's very foolish to think that. That's not the truth. Really, the answer to society's problems is, number one, the Lord Jesus and his word, and doing what his word says. And then number two is, I believe, taking personal responsibility. And we live in a society where any form of accountability is viewed as abuse. And we also live in a time where, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But if someone has an opinion about themselves, or if someone wants to, critique your opinion, you view that as abuse, or you think you're right. Everybody thinks they're right. The Bible talks about, and especially in the book of Proverbs, about how men do what's right in their own eyes. People do what's right to themselves. And that's the problem. Okay, I don't want to get too far off. We want the benefits. We want the benefits of the dream. We all have dreams. We all have a vision for our future. We all have an idea of the lifestyle that we want. We know probably what car we want to drive. We know what type of a neighborhood or house we want to live in. We know what type of a woman we want to date. We know what type of a family life we want to have. We know what type of vacations we want to take, and the type of clothes and the brands of watches. This is probably just like a $70 watch. It's a Casio. Here, this is really cool. This is actually my favorite watch right now. I know do they call it horology? Is that the timekeeping magazine? I forget. I love watches. I'm not like a connoisseur, but at some point I will get an expensive watch, but not yet. Not yet. Because I'm not ready. And I do want the benefit of preparing well in my business and making a lot of money. I want to benefit from that. I want to buy that watch. Why? I heard, what's his name? Who's that guy? Terrell Owens. He has a podcast now. It's No, not Terrell Owens. Sorry. They all got shows now. Shannon Sharp. That's who it is. Shay. It's his podcast. He was doing some clip, some short that I saw. It could have been from his podcast, maybe not. He said, you want to know why I got a nice watch? It's because I'm showing you how important my time is to me. Not how cool I am with my watch. I'm showing you how important. He was wearing like some $500,000 watch or whatever. Really nice watch. Cool. But he's like, why I wear a nice watch is so that you know how important time is to me. And that's a good mindset. Now, I'm sure he likes to look good too. I'm sure he probably would say that. I'm sure he's an honest guy in that regard. Doesn't matter. All I'm saying is, I want things in my life. Let's say you want to watch. But poor people, or people that don't prepare well, or people that don't know how to achieve the numbers in their business that they want to hit, they go and they buy the luxury. And they go and they spend the money. And they want the luxuries now. And they want the good stuff now. And they don't want to have to wait for the good stuff. They want it now. If you look at Forbes magazine, there's an article. I'm sure there's more recent articles in Forbes magazine, but back in 2017 is the one that I reference often. You can go look it up. Just a quick Google will help you find it. But Americans spend $1.33 for every dollar that they make. They spend $1.33 for every $1 they make. Now that was back in 2017, which is seven years ago. Holy mother, it's going fast. But there is something in our society. It's consumerism. It's vanity. It is a lack of the fruits of the Spirit, namely self-control. And I believe that we sell ourselves too short when we give ourselves and we reward ourselves for things that we don't deserve. And it's detrimental to the rest of our lives when we live that way. The way to not hit your goals, the way to not achieve your dreams, the way to not reach the destination for all of those things that I mentioned that that you want in your life, the way to not hit those things is to do things chronologically out of order when you are not worthy, you are not prepared, you are not ready to receive the thing that you're going after. Let me give you an example. I'm going to do a screen share here. I don't know what this is going to be like. Matthew 20, that's the one. Okay. This story. And it's stuck with me for at least a couple years now. And I think it is one of the most amazing truths that will help you in your life when you are struggling, when no one's cheering you on, when there's no accolades, when there's no encouragement, when you feel like you're by yourself. Listen to this. This is amazing. When things feel like they're not working, when things feel like they're not working, when it feels like you're the only one that this is happening to, when it feels like, man, everybody else is hitting it and I am just like getting beat up over here. That's actually the greatest. It's like a compass. It's like those moments for me are like my compass in my life. And I've learned and I'm learning, and I'm sure at different times in my life, I'll continue to learn this, but those are the times where God puts us to test us to see what's in us. That's what I believe. So let's go Matthew chapter 20 verse 20. It's titled, A Mother's Request. Then came to him, who is Jesus, then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons. Her name was Salome, or Salome, like not salami. Not talking about salami. Talking about Salome, whatever her name is. Okay. Then came to Jesus the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, Salome, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. So Jesus would say things like, ask and you shall receive, seek and you'll find, knock and the door shall be opened to you. So I'm assuming that, and maybe chronologically, wherever that ask, seek, knock story is, because it's in the Gospels, and I actually don't know if it's in Matthew. It may be in one of the other, it may be in this book, it may not be. I don't know the word that verbatim, but I can find it in a matter of a few seconds in a Google search. The point is, he told us to ask and seek and knock. And if we ask, we'll receive. If we seek, we'll find. If we knock, the door will be open. So I'm sure that Salome was Salami. I'm sure Salami had heard Jesus say something like that in the past. And this woman, she seemed pretty sharp. I mean, like 2 of her sons are Jesus' disciples. I mean, you couldn't just be some bum bozo and be Jesus' disciple, right? I don't know. Maybe. But there was some sort of substance, I feel like, to this woman. 2 of her sons were his disciples. She was hanging around Jesus. She was listening to his words, and she saw an opportunity, maybe not an opportunity. She saw something that she wanted. She recognized something that she wanted for her sons. And that's not bad. A lot of people may, get down on her for asking this question. I don't get down on her for asking this question. I think it's a really bold question. And bold people oftentimes win the opportunity with their boldness, whatever that may be in your life. The righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs, I believe, chapter 28 or 29. So she desired a certain thing of him. And he, Jesus, said unto her, What wilt thou? What wilt thou? What wilt, Chamberlain, thou? She saith unto him, Grant that these my 2 sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on the left, in thy kingdom. She had it down. Like she said, grant that these my 2 sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on the left, in thy kingdom. And I believe in thy kingdom would mean in heaven, or when we are in the state of eternal life, or whatever that meant to her, in thy kingdom, when you're ruling and reigning, when you're glorified, Jesus. In the end, I want my sons to have, a good position. I want to provide for them in that regard. I want to make a way for them in that regard. I want this to be their inheritance. Everybody would want that for their kid. Who wouldn't want their kid sitting on Jesus' right and left hand? I mean, that'd be great for my 2 daughters. But Jesus answered and said, Ye know not what ye ask. Ye know not what ye ask. We should have some rap songs in the King James. That'd be cool. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, We are able. And he saith unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with, but to sit on my right hand and on my left, it is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it's prepared of my Father. So it's the Father's choice in this scenario. But this is interesting. So let's break this down a little bit further. So they said, Salome said, Jesus, this is what I want. I want the seat of honor. I want my sons to be honored. I want them to be safe. I want them to have proximity to the throne, because proximity to the throne is power. It's oftentimes not the king who's the most in charge, but maybe his first in command or his second in command, who oftentimes have or can have more an incredible amount more persuasion. If you don't believe me, you should go read The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Incredible book. I believe you can find it as a free PDF download on Google if you search it one way or the other. Amazing book. And it talks a lot about those things, and it draws on many stories in history of how that's true, what I'm saying right now. But Jesus answered and said unto them, ye know not what ye ask. You don't realize what you're asking for. It's interesting. It's a little key in the whole ask, seek, knock thing. What are you asking for? I say this a lot, is be careful what you pray for, because it very often has a funny way of happening. What do I mean by that? Well, we pray things like, God, give me peace. So he says, okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity for chaos. I'm going to give you an opportunity to fear. Okay? Because the way that we grow peace is not by taking your level of peace and building on that. The way we get more peace is by having that peace challenged. It's like a muscle. You go to the gym, excuse me. Oh, how you feel like you got dry throat? Well, gotta wet the whistle. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink? Now, you want the seat of honor, Salome. You want your sons in the seat of honor. But the only way you get that seat is through drinking the cup. So we're asking the wrong question. Salome is asking the wrong question. She's asking, can I sit in the seat? But Jesus is going, well, maybe, maybe not. I know it's my Father's choice. But the real question is, Salome, can you drink the cup that I drink? What's the cup represent? The cup represents sacrifice. The cup represents pain. The cup represents preparation. The cup represents your dues, your tenure, your time, your possessions. The cup, in the most simple form to me, represents pain. And I think passion. And passion to me really is, it's come to mean, to me, that word passion means pain. It means suffering. Let me look this up real quick. I don't know if you can still see my screen. I'm hoping you can. Passion, a strong and barely controllable emotion in suffering and death, the suffering and death of Jesus. I want to see more. Let's go to passion definition. Let's go to Collins. I like Collins Dictionary. Any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling as love or hate. Now that's one version. Okay. Let's look up this whole thing. Let's look up maybe the etymology of the word. The archaic meaning, which is what we're looking at. We're looking at archives. We're looking at old documents. The Bible, it's an old document. And the archaic meaning is suffering or agony, as of a martyr. The passion of the Christ. The suffering of Jesus, beginning with his agony in the Garden of Gethsemane and continuing to his death on the cross. And these are really the definitions that I'm going after. Are passion, suffering, right?
So in Matthew 20, he's going, you want the seat of honor, but can you drink the cup that I drink? And they say, we are able. He said to them, okay, you'll drink the cup. And so in that moment, he's telling them about the death that they're going to die. They're going to drink the cup without a doubt. Now, they'll be honored, but it's still not God's choice of where they sit. The bottom line is this. They were right. We are able. Maybe they weren't able in this moment, but they were able, and they did it. And we know from history that they did it. And let me stop the share here. So this is so important in the day and the age that we live. I had two guys last week, two of my friends. They live in different states. Two different guys. They don't know each other. Completely unconnected. And the one guy, they both actually, this is crazy. They both have two daughters. Both of these guys have two daughters. They're married, have two daughters. Well, this guy calls me and he goes, I haven't talked to him in like a year. And he calls me and he's like, we're talking, we're joking, we're catching up. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm separated from my wife. I'm like, what? Because I know his wife too. I know. And then, so he's separated. And then the other guy, I talked to him last week, just before the weekend. We're talking about some business ideas. And he says, yeah, man, me and so-and-so, me and my wife are separated. We just got separated. I'm like, what? What? Why? And they go into, all of these reasons why they're separated. And then one of these guys is talking about counseling and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you thought it was going to be what it was. You thought it was going to be a certain way. And then you didn't realize, like, hold on a second. You got to pull the weeds. You got to pull the weeds. You got to water the garden. If you want the garden to grow, you got to water it. Amazon shows up every freaking day at my house. Every day. Amazon. The delivery, the packages. They show up every day. And like it's Christmas every day here. And then I got to the point where my kids were starting to kind of expect just to get stuff in the mail. And then their grandma spoils them. Their other grandma spoils them. We spoil them. Not spoiled rotten. I'm just going, we like to give them gifts and stuff. But I get to the point where I'm like, okay, there's too much stuff happening here. We're buying too much stuff. They're watching too much TV. They're getting and then the more that you give them, they seem like they just want more and they're not happy with what they have. So when that happens, I'm just like, okay, hold on a second. Let's turn the TV off. Let's control the screen time. Okay. Let's pull out the coloring papers and the books. Let's start engaging our minds. Let's get away from all the sugar. Let's stop with the going out to this and grandma coming home with those sandals and that dress and blah, blah, blah. We need to really hone this in because once they start, you start thinking that, you just start thinking that this is normal and this is what I should get all the time. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't paying for nothing. And even in a kid's world, that can mess them up later. Because if you spoil them when they're young, you pay for everything. You take them there's so many parents that take away every form of anything difficult in their kids' lives. And then they wonder why their kids are drug addicts or their kids are divorced later on, or their kids, they don't have a good relationship with their children because, all the gifts stopped. And then when the gifts stopped, the kid misconstrues that as the love stops. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, can get really unhealthy in people's lives when they have a sense of entitlement. And in the United States, I think we very much have, and in the Western world, we have a sense of entitlement. If it comes to me, it's for me. If I want that, I should go get it. If it makes me feel good, I should go do it. If it makes me look good or raises my status to all these people that really don't care about you and are only comparing themselves to you. But if I can get that watch, if she can't, nobody else can, and I have that status, then I'm going to be cool and everybody's going to like me. Or if I drive that car, and I don't buy, maybe I can't afford that car, but you know what? It'll make me look good. It'll uphold the lie that I have it all together. It'll make me feel good about myself. And so I'm just going to buy something that I can't afford You know what I'm saying? And so people go through life and they do this all the time. But then when the test comes, like a husband would say to a wife, no, I'm not going to buy that car for you. Why? Because we can't afford it. Or when you say to your child, no, you're going to have to pay for your rent. Or, you can't just come and go as you please and live like this. There's going to be some accountability. And when you start trying to implement new boundaries on someone who you've already established weak boundaries with, and they're just used to a certain lifestyle, and then you pull that away from them, they freak out. Or when there's any form of accountability, they view it as abuse. Get what I'm saying? So the bottom line is this. This is what I'm saying today. Don't think that you deserve it if you haven't prepared for it. Okay? The world is full of people who go, I want more. I want more. I want a better vacation. I want a better car. I want to go out more. I want more time away from my kids. I want seconds. I want dessert. Oh, I want seconds on dessert. Myron Golden talks about this a lot. If you don't know Myron Golden, he's awesome. But you go through life and there's these moments that pop up. And one of my old mentor pastor guys who growing up, like this guy impacted my life in a major way, Glenn Duncan. And he would always say that, what did he say? Kairos moment. That's what he said. Kairos moment. A kairos moment is where time meets destiny. A kairos moment is a Greek word. Kairos is a Greek word. And kairos simply means the right or critical moment. But Glenn Duncan, we all called him Duncan. He would preach on Sundays and he'd be like, a kairos moment, you know it as maybe it's a critical moment, but he goes, but I know it as it's the moment in time where time meets destiny. It's where it's the crossroads of time and preparation. That's what it is. It's time and preparation. And you find yourself in your life, and all of us do, whether or not we're prepared, we're going to notice certain kairos moments that happen in our lives. And the more prepared you are, the more able you are to recognize those opportunities. A kairos moment is an opportunity as well. It's an amazing moment in time where it's an opportunity that presents itself to the person that is prepared. But if you're not prepared, as this time is approaching, you're not going to be able to capitalize on that opportunity because of the fact that in your knower that you are not prepared. I relate it to like music, the music industry. There's a lot of people that back when I played music and stuff, I guess I still do, but just in a different way. But there's a lot of people that wanted to perform on stages, or that wanted to be a part of my band, or that wanted to, whatever it was. They wanted recognition for their song. They wanted higher percentage of writing. They wanted, you know what I'm saying? They just wanted more. But it didn't equal out because they didn't do the work that was deserving of that. They didn't bring the value that was deserving of that. And so if you tell people no, again, they think that you're abusive or that you're a jerk or that, that everybody's going to do what their mommy does to them. Tell them they're awesome and that, yeah, they can have it. That's not how life works. And so they think they're ready and they're awesome and they're good. And like it's crazy. It doesn't matter how good you are at music, really. What matters is how many tickets you can sell, how much streaming revenue you can bring in, how much you can bring in for your live shows, how much business you can do when your tour pops up in whatever city you're in that night. Those are the things that matter. What are your numbers like on social media? How much engagement and interaction do you have? Are you selling products? Are you marketing? Are you collecting data? All of those things are the things that the elite musicians and the elite A-listers manage. And they manage that, and they ride that bull, and they subdue their business. Now they're writing songs, and maybe there's a lot of artists out there who I think, my songs are better than these songs. These songs suck. These songs suck. Like, literally, I'm always going like, how is this popular? This sucks. But it's popular. Why? Because they built a business. That's how. Because they subdued their business. They subdued the numbers. They subdued the spreadsheets. They subdued the understanding and the knowledge of what a mechanical royalty is, and what and how to license their music, and how to organize it on the spreadsheets in the background. That is how you get the stage. You do business really well. Okay. So that's what I'm saying is, musicians see the stage and they go, lights, chicks, popularity, fun, people worship me, recognition, all this stuff. It's awesome. And you start thinking you're pretty cool, if you taste a little bit of that here and there. But the bottom line is, there's no sustaining of that, of the business. And so when the opportunity passes, I remember playing at the Tacoma Dome for like 15,000 people. We didn't even have a booth to sell anything. There's 15,000 people there. I got to play for half an hour. We didn't have nothing to sell. Like, how stupid can you be? That's how stupid I was. I just didn't get it. And so that's why I ain't playing arenas today, if that makes sense. So make sure in life that you don't think you deserve something just because you want something. And make sure in life that you don't deceive yourself to think that you just get to do the fun aspects of your dream. You only have to do the fun stuff. You get to go, to the studio. You get to make the beat. You get to smoke the joint with the buddies. You're the guy on the stage. You're, whatever. You're the man of the hour. Whatever. Don't get lost in the fun stuff and just think about those things. You got to think about the spreadsheets. You got to think about the splits. You got to think about the vehicle that you're going to use to get to the gig. You got to think about, what if something breaks? You got to think about selling merchandise. You got to think about collecting data. All those things are really what qualify you to be able to capitalize on moments that, you can grow, or we can capture market share, or, you know what I'm saying? You've got to get in touch with the ugly underbelly of the industry that you're in, or the thing that you're doing, for you to actually be qualified to sit in the seat. You've got to drink the cup. And it's a law and a rule that God created since the beginning of time, and you are not going to get around it. If you, there's a lot of people that want to do YouTube and want to be on stages, and they want to do live events, whether it's on Zoom in a virtual live event, or they're in person getting paid, $30,000 with planes, ticket, and airfares, and whatever, and hotel, and all that stuff taken care of. If you want those things, you're going to have to drink. You're going to have to get familiar with the painful aspect of those things. So that's what I'm saying. So don't just think that just because you want it, you deserve it. Most of the time, in most people's lives, when a kairos moment shows up, where time meets destiny, okay? Maybe the market, maybe you have a product that you've been developing, and time meets destiny. But there's certain things in the life of that product and in your business that you've ignored, okay? So when that actual opportunity comes, you're not prepared. And so you miss the train. And that takes, typically for most people, a couple times to happen. They miss a couple trains, and they're like, I ain't even going to go try to sit, and I'm not even going to, like, it ain't for me. Like, I'm just going to give up, And most people do. But the people who, because I've had moments like that in my life where I was like, okay, opportunity, but I just wasn't prepared. And it's amazing because those moments can be your best friend in your own development. We ask for more. We ask for more, 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 more. We want more of this and more of that and more of everything and more dessert and two, please. And I want that car and I want blah, 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 and I want this recognition. I want that whatever. And I want that collaboration. I want, you know, I want this money. I want this guy to say yes. I want whatever. But we are not qualified because we have not prepared. And once you get something that you're not prepared for, that's even worse. If you get something, if you get an opportunity, if you win an opportunity, if you win the lottery or whatever it is, and you're not prepared and you don't know, think about this. Think about this. Say you won the lottery and you won $100 million. You know, $100 million. People go, if I just had $100 million, man, my life would be perfect. Dude, what would you do with it? You don't even know what you do with it. Because most people who say that, they don't have any financial advisor right now. Most people who play the lottery don't have a financial advisor. Most people who play the lottery don't have much money. Most people who play the lottery are older and they're planning on that for their retirement because they haven't planned their retirement well. But man, if I just win this lottery, it's going to do, I won't need anything else. It's not true, man. And that's why most everybody who wins the lottery goes bankrupt in a matter of how many years? 3 years or so. It's crazy. Just go crazy because they're not prepared. So God doesn't want to give you a blessing that you're not prepared for because that's even more painful. I think about if I was very successful in music, I have been very successful in music 10 years ago, I'd probably be dead right now. I'd probably be dead. Or it'd be some crazy heathen living in some, I don't even know where I'd be. Thank God that I didn't experience the level of success that I thought that I wanted. That would have been a curse. So, what I'm saying, if you want to sit in the seat of glory, you've got to drink the cup of pain. That's just the bottom line. If you want to achieve the dream, you want to reach the destination, you want the lifestyle that you want the money that you want the family life and you want the whole 9 yards, you want it all. It's going to be painful. So I encourage you today, stop asking for more. Stop asking for more. And start asking to become better at suffering. You have a good day. Hope this blesses you. And I'll be back.